everybody, welcome to the Magic Weekly News Update for December 3rd. December 3rd? Where the hell did this year go? December 3rd, 2017 on the Man Leek. I'm John as always. And well, it was a busy week. Beyond being brigaded by over 1,000 nut jobs, other stuff happened, including a new Magic story, so we will have story time after the news. Up first, as an announcement to last week's big news, Wizards released a full announcement about harassment and bullying in the Magic community. WotC is investigating reports as quickly as possible about harassment and bullying in the community, and they're reviewing and updating their policies and reporting processes for code of conduct violations. This has already resulted in Jeremy, who I spoke of in last week's video, being investigated as he tweeted out the email he received from the investigating committee. As of yet, no action has been taken, and I'm hopeful that it will soon. And if it doesn't, I will be extremely disappointed. I defend Wizards on a lot of topics, including topics that causes most of the internet to declare war on them. But I will not defend this if they have a weak response to this situation. No less than a DCI ban is required, and a lot more is warranted. In addition to this, during the World Magic Cup, a great PSA about Magic being a welcoming game was shown, and I'll show that next. But as a reminder, while Magic welcomes everyone, you lose that welcome if you make others feel unwelcome. A tolerant community must be intolerant of intolerance.
In the Magic community, all players are welcome, whether it's in the United States,
Nihon,
I Sverige,
w Česku, 대한민국,
Jungwa,
Colombia,
in Deutschland,
en France,
In England, all players are welcome.
미나상 요코소.
모든 플레이어들 환영합니다.
alle Spieler sind willkommen.
todos los jugadores son bienvenidos.
Všichni jsou vítáni.
Alla spelare välkomna.
Tous les joueurs sont les bienvenus.
欢迎所有牌手。
so come game with us. You're welcome here.
Whoever you are.
Wherever you're from.
We can't wait to see you.
Continuing on in this vein, Travis Wu, infamous Magic brewer and occasional Pro Tour attendee, was removed from his Magic Pro Tour team following a, surprise, surprise, harassment and bullying problem. For those who missed Travis's first major issue, he was removed from Channel Fireball as a content creator after reading Mein Kampf on stream and defending several of Hitler's ideas. Not exactly the greatest guy. Travis Wu last year started a Facebook group called Magic for the Bad, which was, and I quote, inviting MTG meme gods, shitlords, and trolls to be horrible people. This included racist jokes and, what got the most attention this week, the group actively discussing pick order as if they were drafting famous female MTG players, commentators, content creators, etc. The group was beyond disgusting and has since been shut down, with Travis claiming no knowledge of the group's terribleness, despite several screenshots showing that he was in fact an active participant beyond simply creating the group in the first place. As with the previous story, I fully expect a DCI ban to follow this. Leaving that heaviness behind, a hapless real estate agent stumbled upon a Facebook group called New England Real Estate Coalition and posted an advertisement for himself. This group, however, was a New England group specializing in expensive legacy and vintage lands from Magic, not actual real estate. A couple users played along with the agent asking for advice on purchasing land to set up a port in Rashada, another asking if he had any tabernacles in the area of Pendrell Vale. When the real estate agent simply replies at one point, okay, it sounds as though he figured out something was up. Not important news, but some nice fluffy stuff to cleanse our palates a bit. Finally, on the news front, and remember we'll be doing storytime after this, the internet is livid over the latest Commander ban list change. What was banned or on ban this time? Well, how about every single unglued, unhinged, and unstable card becoming legal for the next 6 weeks, or almost every one? I don't think anyone would believe you if you said this last week that this change would happen, but it has. A few cards are banned, and you can see that list over at mtgcommander.net, but the internet is absolutely furious over this change. Apparently, sometime between last week and this week, Commander became a super serious format that should only allow super serious players to play it. I missed that memo, apparently. I think this change sounds like a ton of fun. It's 6 weeks. It's 6 weeks that include major holidays in which people are probably just not going to be playing a ton of super serious Magic. And if it goes poorly, it'll be done before you know it. Yes, there are some ludicrously powerful cards, and I think a larger ban list would have been a better start, but if we do head towards allowing silver-bordered cards in Commander, which would be fantastic in my opinion, because the format up until this week was often described as the fun format, where you get to play whatever you want, then this seems like a really good test period to get large amounts of data to determine which cards are simply too powerful or broken for the format. Star City Games has already said that this change will not be in effect for their upcoming SCG Open event event side events, and that makes sense. People preparing for it probably already have their decks finalized, and this is a big change to the format, so I fully understand this week saying, nope, we're not going to do this change at this major tournament. I am hoping, however, that some people do give this a try, and remember that Magic is a fun game where you can have fun sometimes, as crazy as it sounds. So that's it for the news this week, and as I mentioned, we've got story time. This week's Magic story was called World Class, which is a pretty solid pun title given that the World Magic Cup happened this week and that the story is a class where the students are giving their oral presentations about the various factions of the world of Bablova. Very cool title. Anyways, up first in this class, we have Martina telling us about the Carta Scientia. This is a document crafted a long time ago that determined that in Bablova, the plane that Unstable is set on, science is the most important thing. So important, in fact, that any branch of science can form its own government. Unfortunately, human nature got in the way, and as of today, only 5 governments have been formed, and they're all pretty crazy mad science types. Annabelle is up next and tells us a quick overview of the 5 governments and their leadership. The Order of the Widget is a technocracy ruled by technology and led by the Grand Calcutron, who determines every decision the government makes. The Agents of Sneak are a kleptocracy ruled by thieves. Their current leader, as of last week anyway, is Phoebe. 16 changes in leadership have happened this year alone, as whoever possesses the Golden Ruler is the leader, and mostly just 3 people keep paying X to steal the ruler for them. The League of Dastardly Doom is an oligarchy, a government ruled by a small number of people known as the Legion of Evil, which currently consists of Baron von Count, The Big Idea, Grusilda, and Mario Kill. The Goblin Explosioneers don't have a government really, as it's just a bunch of goblins experimenting and blowing themselves up. Their current Alpha Goblin, which is as close to a leader as we can get, is Ol Buzzbark. Finally, the Crossbreed Labs is a geniocracy ruled by the intelligent. It's structured somewhat like a school where the leadership teaches and also leads, with Dr. Julius Jumblemorph being the current leader. He was one of the original scientists who perfected the genetic splicing technology that they're known for. Kareem then tells us some more about the creation of the Order of the Widget. Kelvin Granderson often craved toast. He was on vacation and couldn't get toast, and so eventually, after creating a portable toaster, simply replaced his left hand with a toaster. But he then couldn't get butter, so he replaced his upper right leg with a refrigerator and his right index finger with a butter knife. Others eventually copied him, replacing parts of their bodies with whatever tools they needed, and Kelvin eventually replaced so much of his body that he renamed himself Grand Calcutron and now controls the faction. Juanita is up next and tells us about the Agents of Sneak. It appears that no one actually knows what the mission of the Agents of Sneak is, including their own members. It appears that most of the members are simply trying to figure out what they're doing and primarily just spy on each other. The Agents of Sneak actually began as a job share board that spiraled out of control as people spent way too much money on gadgets for what the jobs were actually paying, leading to criminals committing crimes for those who used the job board, and the job board is still in use today. Harold tells us about the League of Dastardly Doom, who quite simply want to take over the world. How they do that, though, has almost as many answers as there are members of the League of Dastardly Doom. They also have a very good internship program that Harold thinks he'll join this summer. Ming Na tells us about the Goblin Explosioneers. Years ago, Steamflogger Industry needed to cut corners, and so the leader went up to the mountains to enlist the goblins. The goblins, though, were really just enamored by the hammer, rather than the shiny contraptions. The goblins joined the factory, and as they experimented with their often poorly thought-out experiments, the previous employees eventually all quit, presuming they weren't exploded first. Until today, where the factory is now entirely run by the goblins who call themselves the Goblin Explosioneers. No one knows what they're building in the factory, but Ming Na suggests that it's maybe just a really, really big hammer. Nadima tells us about the Crossbreed Labs. 28 years ago, a trio of doctors were trying to find a cure for cancer. Their attempt at using iguana genes, however, just caused the host to grow a tail. Dr. Jameson didn't see this as a failure as his colleagues did and promptly gave himself wings. The university opened up the procedure to the public, and everyone happily chose the parts of animals that they wanted to be. Eventually, after becoming part dinosaur, Dr. Jameson changed his name to Dr. Julius Jumblemorph. Finally, it's Stuart's turn, and Stuart chose a topic that he wasn't actually assigned. His topic is squirrels. Apparently, as Bablova focused more and more on science, the white mouse population dwindled and ultimately they went extinct. Crossbreed Labs, however, identified that squirrels would be a suitable test subject and tweaked their DNA to make them the best possible test subjects. Apparently, however, some believe that the DNA tweaking pushed squirrels towards sapience. And now, all 5 factions are secretly being run by the squirrels. Miss Skiffle says she doesn't get paid enough for this, and ends the class for the day. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's Magic Weekly News Update. Let me know what you thought of the news this week. What did you think of the Unstable story? Are you excited for Unstable? Are you drafting it this weekend? I know I sure am. I'm going to record my draft from the usual behind-the-shoulder perspective, so you'll get to see that. I'll be doing crack-a-packs and all kinds of Unstable content for the next couple of weeks, so make sure you check all that out. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @TheManaLeak. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeak, Twitch.tv/TheManaLeak, and Patreon.com/TheManaLeak. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. Click subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.